in Vegas right now. It's the center of the NBA universe. And look at who we have here. Mark Lore and Alex Rodriguez, now officially the owners of the Minnesota Timberwolves. So I want to start from the beginning, guys. I know you guys are best friends. You guys do a lot together. When did you guys decide that you wanted to own an NBA team?
Well, I tell you what, Mark and I took a run at the New York Mets, and it was an incredible process. It took about 8 months. We were the second winners, and when that kind of fell through, we were very disappointed. And shortly after came this opportunity, and in a 5-10 minute call, we said, let's go for it.
Yeah, that was basically it. It was a blessing in disguise looking back now. We couldn't be happier.
Alex, you personally, you and Michael Jordan, the two former athletes turned owners, governors, like not minority, but co-owners here with Mark Lore. What does that make you feel being in that position to say you and Michael Jordan, like that's a prestigious role for you guys after being athletes?
I mean, first of all, it's just an incredible honor. I mean, to be part of this incredible, both leagues, W and the NBA. Michael is someone who I looked up to for a very long time as Magic. Magic's been also a good friend and a great mentor. And I just think about that 12-year-old boy who saw his mom working 2 jobs and collecting food stamps. And to go from there to here with a great partner like Mark, I just could not be more honored.
I want to know a little bit more about the dynamic between you two. This is the first time I've ever hung out with you guys, and I've seen you guys kind of bickering back and forth. What is the business relationship between you guys, and how does that work out?
Yeah, we're like co-chairman, co-founders of a startup. I think that's the way we operate. We're great friends, as you said, and we share a common set of values, but we come at it with a complementary set of skills. And I think we always seem to get to a better answer when we're thinking about something together. So yeah, I think it's been great, and it's only getting better with time.
So I think about it, Christine, from a basketball perspective, right? And Alex Rodriguez, Mark Lore, now you guys are going to be a luxury tax-paying team for the 2nd straight year. Before that, this franchise hadn't done that in over 20 years. So you guys are projected to be high spenders moving forward. How do you guys view that now? Like, do you guys want to continue to spend at a high level? How do you view spending in today's NBA?
Yeah, I mean, just like a startup, you're investing into the future enterprise value of the team, and that's on behalf of the fans, that's on behalf of the community, and the players, right, as well as us. But the franchise values are increasing at a rapid rate, and we're taking that money and reinvesting it back in to create a winning culture, a sustainable culture of winning. So. Yeah,
Alex got paid a few times as an MLB player, so now you're on the other side with Mark here, having to take care of players coming up on deals. How do you view that as an owner?
I mean, I just think that the NBA and the WNBA are 2 of the greatest leagues in the world. They're both global leagues. By far, 2 biggest assets are the fan base, the communities, and our players. I mean, if you think about the amount of talent that you have around the globe, 30% of our league comes from outside of the U.S. You can probably say it'll be 40% in the next 10 years. So I think we're in a great place. I think players are our partners, and the league is growing, and it's just really an exciting time.
Shams, I like that you just mentioned how much money A-Rod made when he was playing, because there's an article on .com right now that speculates that the first NBA player to make $1 million a game could be Anthony Edwards. When you think about that, what comes to mind? What do you think about?
Well, I think that's a sign that the game is very healthy. The revenues are growing. Obviously, we signed a new 11-year deal, media deal, which is very healthy. And look, without the players and without the fans, you have no league. So that's what's really exciting. I'm a player. I think player first all the time, most of the time, all the time. And to see a guy like Anthony Edwards and his development over the last 4 or 5 years, you got to give him a lot of credit.
I think there's a lot of speculation whether or not Anthony Edwards will be the face of the league, the face of the franchise. I know that you've been there before. What do you wish the public knew about how much it takes to be the face of a franchise and of a league?
I'll go first, and Mark, I'd love to hear from you as well. I mean, probably different aspects of it. I remember sitting at a Miami Heat game a couple of years ago for the playoffs, and all Anthony Edwards talked about, and he sat right next to me for 2 games, how much he wanted to be in the Western Conference Finals, go to the finals, and win a title. And when I talked to him today, I mean, he's going to the gym 2 or 3 times a day, running stairs the other day at Twins Field, and he is 100% committed to being a great basketball player, not a social media star, but one of the great basketball players of all time.
Yeah, I mean, as a startup founder, I've never been a professional athlete before, but I definitely respect his work ethic. I mean, he's dialed in, and he really appreciates the game, and I think that's important.
So you guys, when you guys started purchasing the team, there's multiple layers, right? Investing in the community, the players, the building those dynamics back again with your fan base. Another thing also that I know has been in the works is a new arena plan at some point, whether it's in the 2030s, whatever. I know, Mark, you have a lot of great, bright ideas as a creative type. How do you guys envision that whole process, and you personally, Mark, with your mind?
Yeah, no, I think we treat it with a clean slate. Look at the best of what's been done everywhere else and see where there's room for improvement, to introduce technology to increase the fan experience, whether it be augmented reality or what have you. When we do it, we're going to do it right, and we're going to push to create the best arena and the best fan experience in all sports. If you're going to do it, you got to do it right.
Is there anything innovative that you guys are planning to do when it comes to the fan experience specifically?
Yeah, I mean, we just announced today that we signed a deal with Jump. So Alex and I helped co-found Next Gen Ticketing Exchange. That's very cool. That's fully integrated fan experience that I think is going to take it to another level. You're able to, just we'll give you one little teaser, you're able to move from any seat to any other seat in the arena in real time during the game. So if somebody leaves fourth quarter, that seat frees up. Anybody in the arena could, in a reverse auction, move down to that seat. It could be $10, $5, whatever. So it's fully dynamic ticketing exchange, which should always keep seats full close to any sporting event. That's just one piece of it. There's a lot of tentacles to it.
So they would have to auction. They would have to auction to get that seat.
It just automatically happens.
Oh, okay.
Like Uber.
Okay.
And Christine, this actually started in a conversation Mark and I had probably 4 years ago. Well, we were always the kids that snuck into Yankee Stadium or Shea Stadium. It would be in the upper deck. We paid $2, and then the goal is by the 7th or 8th inning, you're all the way down behind home plate.
Sneaking way down.
Because you got to move. You got to be quicker than the ushers. And Mark, all of a sudden, like a week later, he's like, "I got an idea," and boom, we started Jump.
Yeah.
And that's how it started.
I love that. You could be sitting courtside by the end of the game. That's amazing. Well, guys, thank you so much for joining us, and congratulations on all that you guys are doing.
Thank you.
Can't wait to see it.
Thank you. Thanks so much.
All right, let's get back to the action on the court last night. Time for our big three plays of the night. Number 3, Carter Bryant, the number 14 pick in the draft out of Arizona. What did he do? There he is with a block off the backboard for the Spurs. He had 5 points and 3 blocks. At number 2,
He was a monster defensively.
He was.
Come on, show Johan.
all right, number 2, Labissiere. He was also a monster.
Let's
Put
see
back.
Oh,
That was crazy. Put him out on poster.
former Kentucky legend.
He had 14 points off the bench. All right, and number 1 play. Jamari, people say booyah.
He was.
Yay. Buzzer beater. Wait for it. There it is. 4-3. Should you storm the court during Summer League?
When you hit game winners in
Tell what happened to end. Here's Cooper Flagg after the game.
The coaches, they had a lot of confidence in me. They've been telling me they want me to, experiment, try some new things. I was trying to be aggressive. That's new for me too. I would say that might be one of the worst games of my life.
Making sure I'm holding my ground out. You got like a half a foot on me, so it's kind of
Cooper Flagg overall.
He's great. I mean, I watched him all in college and amazing players. I don't know if
you want the ball in his hands, and so he's a great decision maker. He did that at Duke and also in high school, so you get to see it tonight. He's going to have some mistakes. We all did. We all threw it in the stands once in a while. But I think just his poise as an 18-year-old is incredible.
All right, so Flagg shot just 5 for 21 from the floor, but tough shooting nights from a Summer League opener are pretty common for top draft picks. Victor Wembanyama went 2 for 13 in his debut before starring in his second game, while Cade Cunningham made only 5 of 17 shots in his opener. I didn't give us a proper introduction. Christine Williamson, Bobby Marks, Shams Charania, and Udonis Haslem here. Start with the good, UD. What did you see from Cooper that you liked last night?
Well, the defense, his activity defensively. Oftentimes, and everybody on this panel could tell you, it's hard to get young guys to play weak side defense, to take your 2-9, which is people at home, be in the paint when the ball's on the other side. You see his first steal was him from being on the help side, getting out on the break. You see the block. That's once again him being on the help side, being the low man, getting that block, and then getting out in transition and not just going downhill, being overly aggressive, making the right play at the right time. I know he felt like that was the worst game of his career. Cooper, you probably going to have worse games in the NBA, but that is not a bad game to start with. That is something that we see, and guys that know basketball say, okay, that's something to work with. You got something there, Dallas.
I thought him being uncomfortable was probably the most important thing I saw. And before the game, I walked out with Jason Kidd, and I said, we're going to see him at point guard. And he goes, first possession. And you saw that with Cooper. And basically what the Lakers did, they threw a double at him. I've never seen that before in a summer league game. They threw a double at him. And we saw him primarily at point guard. And you know that this is about experimenting. Summer league is all about experiment. We can throw 5 for 21 out the window. It's about putting a player in an uncomfortable position, kind of getting him out of his comfort level. And we saw that. And what I'll remember from this game is the block and then the transition as far as the assist to win this game.
Do you remember your first game, UD, ever playing in the NBA? Because I would imagine there's not only the pressure of playing for the first time, but when you think about how much pressure Coop has, I know we said he doesn't have that much pressure. He's going to the Mavs. But wouldn't that be a factor in how he played last night?
Yeah, I think so. Any young guy comes in, and any young guy when you're stepping into summer league, except for undrafted guys like myself. Undrafted guys like myself, you got to put up numbers. You got to turn heads. You cannot have a bad offensive game. But a guy like Cooper Flag, you're not judging him off his numbers at the end of the game. You're really judging him, like Bobby said. How does he deal in uncomfortable situations? Can he get comfortable being uncomfortable? And high stress situations, is he going to make the right play? Is he going to get guys involved? Is he going to get guys open? And offensively, when he came down and he had an open side and he had a mismatch, he recognized that space and he took advantage of that every single time. That is encouraging for an 18-year-old young man.
Yeah, he's so young. You talked to Mark Cuban after his debut. What did he say?
Yeah, I spoke to Mark Cuban last night and today just for his overall thoughts, being there with Patrick Dumont, the owner, Kyrie Irving, that whole team. He said to me that Cooper Flag is a far better passer than they anticipated when he came in for summer league workouts. He said his size, vision, his IQ, they're already elite. They feel like every single game that goes by, Mark Cuban said he's going to learn more and more about the game. He was getting to his spots. He was getting his shots off. He was making an impact on both ends of the floor. Those are all positive signs for a template for him moving forward.
UD, when you think about Coop's game, a lot of people said he didn't have weaknesses, but what is something that you think he should work on, if anything?
He got to get a little stronger. We watched him try to back down Bronny, and he wasn't really moving Bronny. Yeah. And Bronny's, a year removed from college, but also he came out early, too. So these are two young men, but that's nothing to really worry about because most young guys, when they come in this league, they have to adjust to the physicality. They have to adjust to the strength. You're not playing against kids anymore. You're playing against grown men. You have to guard your yard. So understanding just the physicality of the game, getting stronger, that's something that will come with time. I think Jason Kidd and Dallas Mavericks understand that.
Yeah, he has a plenty long career to figure that stuff out. All right, let's keep it in the West. Sun star Devin Booker has agreed to a 2-year projected $145 million maximum contract extension with the franchise through the 2029-30 season, the highest annual extension salary in NBA history. Here is Booker signing his contract next to the man who will sign those checks, Matt Ishbia. So here's the thing. Booker's $72.7 million projected average annual value passes SGA's Supermax deal for the highest in NBA history. And as you can see here, no deal had even reached $63 million per year before this week. Shams, what exactly does this mean for Booker and the Suns?
Christine, for starters, Devin Booker is Mr. Phoenix. I'm told the entire Suns roster flew out Wednesday to be there for him, to celebrate and honor his extension. I'm told they surprised him with a team dinner at Delilah at the Wynn. So everything about Devin Booker has been commitment back to the franchise. He's said publicly, privately, behind the scenes, he wants to retire in Phoenix. He wants to bring a championship to Phoenix. And Booker, Suns owner Matt Ishbia, met for an hour before this agreement to finalize not only the contract, but discuss how they would be moving forward through the next couple years. This is a Suns team that has had a lot of transition. They have had a complete roster overhaul. So what is the partnership, the vision of the future looks like? They are on the same page. They're aligned now, and this cements him as the face of that franchise moving forward. 5 years, $316 million on his Suns contract moving forward.
Bobby, what does this mean for the future of the
Well, I mean, I looked at that graphic, and I remember when the salary cap used to be $73 million. And now we have it for one player here. I think for Phoenix, the one constant is always going to be Devin Booker, who was drafted in 2015. As much as the ups and downs this organization has had, and certainly going to the NBA Finals, he's been that one constant presence. I think for the organization moving forward, they had a 2-year window with Kevin Durant and Bradley Beal and Devin Booker. And the most important thing to do is to pivot from that. And that's what they're doing right now. And the most important thing to learn is that what gets teams in trouble is when you're stubborn. When you're stubborn, hanging on to players that maybe have not, gotten you to further into playoffs than you think. And I think that's where we're thinking where Phoenix is going. A good draft with Kaman Malwatch. They added Jalen Green and certainly Dylan Brooks here, but it's a change in direction. But as we said, the one constant is Devin Booker.
Yeah, I agree with you 1,000%. Devin Booker is the constant. He's the guy that we knew was going to be there. He's if there's anything that they have gone through, he's the one Rose that has grown from this concrete. Like, nothing else has been good about that. But I'll say this, like, when you look at the Phoenix Suns, it's about what's going to be around Devin Booker. Like, you lost James Jones. You continue to lose coaches. You continue to make different moves. So praise to Devin Booker. He deserves it. We are happy. But that does nothing for me.
Yeah.
I need to see what you're going to put around him. I need to see what's next with the coaching staff, and I need to see how that works and how it puts together. You got Jalen Green. You got some young pieces. You got defensive wings now. You went and got some bigs now. You got a couple bigs. So you got a lot of different pieces. I just want to see how it all works together. But congratulations to Booker. He definitely deserves it.
A really good point there from UD, because the next question is what's going to happen with Bradley Beal. Shams, what is the latest with him?
The Suns are working through a resolution on his future. These are conversations that have been going on. You think about buyout via stretch and waive. But Bradley Beal also has a lot of say in this as well. If they're going to stretch his contract, he would have to give up about $13.9 million. And then the other side of that is finding the next home. So these are conversations that are very fluid. They're ongoing. A lot of it is on Brad Beal, his representation, Mark Bartelstein at Priority Sports, and the Suns working together to figure out just exactly when and if there is a resolution, if he is departing, where for Bradley Beal to where he's going to give up that amount of money in a buyout.
In my opinion, I kind of look at this as similar to the Kuminga situation. It's time for Brad to go somewhere else where he can be free mentally as a basketball player and be his best version. I told you this before. We're sensitive. We want to be wanted. We want to feel like you want us on your team.
Mosley joining us now. I mean, that dab, I don't think I've ever connected on anything that good. That's a good dab. The dab heard around the world, if you will.
I was excited.
With Desmond Bane, obviously great to have him on your squad. How has it been having a vet like him on the team?
It's been fantastic. Just talking to people throughout the league that have coached him, been around him, his ability to reach out to the guys has been good so far. He was in the gym the other day with Franz and Anthony Black already. Just his work ethic, his character, his care factor, just leadership that he brings to the table is going to be so special for us.
I mean, for me, I look at you guys as a connected group. You guys really understand the power of connection. You guys, it's really, you understand who the two main guys are, but everyone stars in their role in that team. So when you bring a guy in from outside and you have a connected group, how do you see him fitting? I know you already reached out to guys and all that, but once you get in high-intensity situations and tempers get to flaring, some of that stuff goes out the window. I'm a true believer in building those relationships and those connections off the basketball court, and that just helps you. When you're playing next to a brother as a teammate, it's different. How are those guys building that, and how are you encouraging it?
They're doing things throughout the summer. Like I said, Jalen's over in the other gym working out right now. Anthony Black's with him. These guys stay connected throughout the summer. They've reached out. They're text messaging each other. They're staying connected that way, and I think that's so important for this group, just to continue the chemistry of what our core guys have already built up until this point, and adding Desmond, who is someone that fits that. He knows about that. He understands what it takes in order to win at a high level, that it's the chemistry and the camaraderie you have, as well as the real live conversations that you have to have on a daily basis.
Coach, every year we see that under-the-radar transaction that people really aren't talking about. And last year we saw Alex Caruso go to Oklahoma City. This year, Tyus Jones comes to the Magic. How about his impact as far as, certainly from the locker room presence, as far as a veteran, but also a guy that can run the offense for you?
Well, it's so important. I mean, Tyus is connected more than people just see from the outside of what he's able to do on the court. You got to think he played with Desmond for years. He knows Paolo because of the Duke connection. He's from Minnesota, where Jalen Suggs is from Minnesota. He's the old head in Minnesota, to say. And then there's Wendell, who's also at Duke. So those connections go, farther than the court. So that ability to have that in the locker room is huge.
I mean, first and foremost for me, let me just give you credit. I think y'all got the most two-way players in the league. When I look at your roster and I played against y'all, you run 17 pick and rolls and you still don't have a matchup you want to attack. So kudos to that, the guys that want to defend. But I'm going to get on the offensive end of it. Desmond Bane had a lot of experience handling the ball with Ja out. He got better at it. I saw it. They were able to win a couple games. He got comfortable doing it. Yeah. Getting Suggs back, he's a guy who's able to handle the ball. You just also brought up Tyus. You're going to have a lot of different options out there to play with. Is your wheels already turning about how we're going to maneuver this and keep guys engaged and involved?
The wheels have been turning, and I think that's the great part about it. I talked to Dez's, college coach Jamie. He played point in Selman College. Okay. So when he got the ball in his hands in Memphis when Ja was out, he was able to control that offense and understand what he needed to do. And the biggest part for our guys is you want decision makers. You want guys that can make the right play at the right time for their teammates. And when you have that point guard mentality, you're able to get others involved the right way, and that's what we have.
I mean, this is my last thing. So many people complain about the trade and say you gave up too much. But what I tell people is when you have guys like Wagner and you have guys like Paolo, these are guys that can dominate their one-on-one match. If you can give them just an inch more space offensively, it makes all the difference for these offensively talented guys. So people saying what you gave up for Desmond Bane, but they don't understand the impact that that's going to have for you guys offensively. And he's a dog defensively as well.
Two-way player, and you said it's a difference between a step of Paolo getting down the lane and then the guy helping off the strong side corner or him staying hugged up, and that's the difference maker for us. And the guys and the things we gave up, you talk about the chemistry in the locker room and what we're able to have with these guys coming in. It's going to be incredible.
Yeah, I love how passionate UD is about this. Coach, I want to ask you, obviously the Eastern Conference is kind of up in the air. When you think about all the pieces and the roster that you have is currently constructed, how do you feel like you guys stack up in the East?
I like where our team is. I like the moves we've made. The DeVos family going in, our front office going in, understanding what we're capable of doing when we're healthy. I think that plays a big part in it. We talked about being top 4, top 5 last year, and I think our guys are hungry enough to understand that we got to, you got to play the year. The training camp's going to be a great line of competition for each one of these guys. But I like where we stack up in the East.
Well, and I'm going to double up on what UD said as far as when you go, and it's not even really in trade when you trade draft picks that are in 2028 or 2030, because Coach, you know this, your roster is young. Yeah. It's not like you're adding Desmond to a group of players in their mid-30s and this is the last run or you have a 2-year window. But when you just signed Paolo to that max contract. Franz was signed last year. You have Jalen, who was signed to an extent, Suggs signed to an extension. Like, this group could be together for the next 3 or 4 years in a world where we live in this world of like 2-year windows, right? And we never want to say the window is always open, but this group could be together for a long period of time.
And like UD said, that chemistry and that camaraderie goes so far. And when you have it with a young core group of guys that have gotten paid, the next step is to how do you create championship culture? How do you create it's about winning now, not about trying to get the check? You've done that, so now what's about the important part for the team, and how can we build and keep growing and going there?
All right, so we're here at Summer League, obviously. Let's talk about what your guys were able to do last night against the Kings. 4 minutes left is where we start this one off. Tristan Da Silva.
Yes. His ability to step up and play this year is going to be big for us. Very big.
Another guy who's not bad defensively as well.
His length, his size, his basketball IQ, Jace Richardson, his speed, his basketball IQ. That's we keep talking about the IQ of guys. That's so important. You want guys that can just continue to make the right play.
Yeah.
Just like that whip baseline.
That's exactly right. Baseline drive, baseline drift. Make sure we got that corner filled.
What did you like?
Good pass.
What did you like out of what they were able to do last night against the Kings?
Well, they started off a little bit slow, and I think that's first game jitters, but their ability to come back. And what we talk about us as a team is we're going to keep fighting no matter the score, no matter the time. And then now that they got comfortable within that first game under their belt, knowing what they're able to do, the quick passes, the quick decisions, making your teammates better. The energy that we have to bring every single night, both offensively and defensively, is going to be big for this group.
What do you think are the biggest things that they need to work on in order to get to the team to where you want them to be in the Eastern Conference next season?
I really think it's a mindset. I mean, our guys all work. They all work, whether they're together in the gym or they're out on their own getting their work in, they all work. So the mindset of understanding what it takes to build and be a champion. And I think that's just championship habits, championship focus, understand the ability to communicate with each other at a high level and push each other to a different degree. Coaches can put them in the best situation to be successful. We do that. But again, on that court, they've got to be able to push each other willingly and hold each other accountable at that high level.
Beautiful. Anything else, guys?
I'm happy you said that. I mean, as great as you guys are, there were times where it was on the basketball court and D-Wade or Brown would look at us and say, don't look at them. They can't help us right now.
Yeah.
What are we going to do?
And that's why, to the point of the chemistry and the camaraderie, when you can hold your brothers on that court accountable, it changes levels for a team.
Yes.
All right, Coach. Well, good luck the rest of the way.
I'm excited.
Thank you for joining us on NBA
Thank
today.
you for having me. I appreciate it.
Yes, sir.
All right, so while the rookies were locked in Vegas, it seems like some people need to pay a little bit more attention, maybe to the WNBA. A little bit.
We had Queen.
I'm just kidding. We have the Summer League wrap. I thought we were talking about a little Jeopardy action, but we're talking about what happened in Summer League. New Orleans.
Oh, hey, big fella. Nice with it.
Dylan Harper.
No, he can score. I didn't know he could do that.
All right, the Thunder, we win this one, or sorry, New Orleans in Minnesota. All right, the next matchup. No Dylan Harper, Victor Wembanyama in the building to watch this one. Carter Bryant.
Let me get that. Way to stay in the play, young fella.
On D. We talked about him a little bit earlier. What did you see out of this one, UD?
I mean, I love just he's coming from the weak side and he's being active defensively. Oftentimes, these guys think that they're going to make an impact on the team offensively. Let me let you know something, young fellas. When you get on, the vet's going to tell you to defend. That's how you're going to earn that respect.
Next, OKC taking on the Nets. This is a little blooper right here. Watch this. Drew Timmy gets hit in the head.
Oh, someone's going to have a headache.
I hate that, man. Shoot the ball. Shoot the ball. I want a rebound. I want a rebound. I want a rebound. Shoot the ball. I want that rebound.
He's happy about it. It's not that bad. Watch this. This might be the most embarrassing thing that ever happens in basketball.
Oh, young fella. Young fella.
How did something like that happen?
That actually happened on a play overseas a couple weeks ago.
Yeah, that's what you were talking about earlier about young fellas being nervous. And
I feel like we see that every year in Summer League. OKC gets the dub here.
So what does it mean? I guess, is this what it means to be an OKC Thunder player? The camaraderie, the winning style. What does it mean?
This is why I wanted to come here, man, whether you got drafted or not. You see this brotherhood, bro. It's all about family.
That's good. I like that.
All right. Rookies locked in here in Vegas. In case you missed this, some people need to pay a little bit more attention when it comes to the talk picks in the WNBA. Take a listen.
Spring in 2025. Playing on her first national championship team and being picked first in the WNBA draft. Rahul.
Who's Caitlin Clark?
No. Scott or Sarah? That's Paige Beckers.
How?
I don't know how. I don't know how. Especially Sarah. I'm disappointed in Sarah.
Well, actually,
I just knew Sarah was going to get it.
That, to be honest. Why?
I just knew Sarah was going to get it. Why not?
Why is that?
Why not Sarah? Why not Sarah?
All right, check out the WNBA this Saturday, ABC, ESPN Plus. Steph also had a little bit of fun from the tee box. Check him out, impersonating LeBron James. As he welcomed him to the golf community.
Basketball coach.
I mean, he looks like him a little bit, a little exaggerated.
Hey, man, listen, everybody can't do everything like Steph can.
Steph spoke on LeBron's golf game during yesterday's media availability. Take a listen to this.
Yeah, I talked to him last week, and he told me how much fun he had. You know, there's something to work with that swing, though. That's kind of what I was going for.
Do you think he could play out here and maybe even be a competitor?
Out here? I mean, Charles plays, so probably.
Okay, so in case you were wondering, Charles Barkley is a 7,500 to 1 odds to win this weekend.
That's pretty damn bad. I don't know about golf. I'm probably about a 7,500 to 1. That's so I'm assuming me and him got the same. No, at all. But
okay.
And that's why he should have better odds than me. So I know he ain't good.
Are you a golfer, Bob?
I'm not. I played once, and I think my clubs wound up in a tree.
So not good.
I tell you what, there's probably a better chance of me growing hair than Charles Barkley winning that golf tournament.
Yeah.
Hey, we don't do any bald slander over here. Okay, so it's pretty interesting that Steph said that he's talked to James over the last week, especially if you consider the story that Brian Windhorst and Ramona Shelburne released this morning on ESPN.com about the state of the limbo between the Lakers and LeBron after a very eventful 6 months. The story read in part The gigantic trade that had landed Doncic in LA had formed sudden new realities, one of which was James's eventually becoming an expiring contract for the first time in his 23-year career. It was the strongest sign yet that the end of the Lakers tenure was near. Later in the story, Ramona and Wendy both reported, quote, a handful of teams, including Golden State Warriors, who tried to trade for James in 23-24, considered again whether to make an offer, sources said. It was abundantly clear that the 21-time All-Star's time as the face of the Lakers had for the first time a planned end date, even if James's record-setting NBA career did not yet. Whether the 25-26 season is to be James's final season in the NBA is up to him, but if he wanted the kind of Hollywood ending that only the Lakers can give legends of the game, the release date was set. Very interesting. Your thoughts, UD?
I mean,
take your head.
Once again, I'm going to say it to my camera. We are sensitive. We want to feel appreciated. We want to feel wanted, especially a guy like LeBron James who's accomplished what he's accomplished. When you talk about what he's done as a Laker, 10, 15-year slump, they go to the finals, they get one, he brings them back, and all of a sudden everybody's talking about the Lakers again. I understand how LeBron feels. He wants to put himself in a situation to win a championship. That is not a championship roster right now. So I look at that situation, I say to myself, if he's unhappy, if he's disgruntled, you want to connect the group. You don't want any squares in your circle. That does not fit. So you don't want to disconnect the LeBron James in that locker room. To the Lakers, rightfully so. This is the future. Luka Doncic is your future. We are preparing for the future. LeBron James is not a part of that future right now. So both sides have a point. Will they figure it out and meet in the middle? I don't know. But LeBron James being happy, that should be his main purpose and his main goal. And I respect that.
I'll tell you what, I think we're in uncharted territory. I've never, and UD and Shams, you've been around this for a long time. I don't remember a situation like this. It's almost like going back and looking at like the 97 Bulls and Jordan, as great as he was, and then you add another generational player, and now you're waiting to buy time to build around that younger player here. And I think for LeBron James, who's still at a hot top 10 All-NBA, second team All-NBA, who still plays at a high level, it is going to be fascinating to watch a player that has a no-trade clause and that can basically dictate as far as if there ever is another ending outside of Los Angeles here. And where the Lakers are, they've got the potential of going free agent shopping next offseason, but that's in 2026. We still have another year to get through that.
Yes.
Sean, your thoughts?
So, to me, Rich Paul was very clear in his comments that he gave me the day LeBron James exercised a player option for the first time in his career for almost $53 million. And it was abundantly clear to me that day LeBron James's feelings are, and he's understanding that the Lakers are moving forward here, building for the future, and that means building around Luka Doncic and that being their number one priority. He understands it. He supports it. He gets where they want to go. So threading that line of building for now as well as building for the future, that is a tough through line that the Lakers are trying to balance here, where you have LeBron James, who came to your organization in 2018. You went to the NBA Finals. You went to another Western Conference Finals appearance. So you won a championship in 2020. So they've had a level of success here in Los Angeles. But then how do you map out the next few years as LeBron James is entering, but either, whether he has 1 year left, 2 years left, or 3 years left. So the Lakers have to balance that aspect of it. And they are building more and more around Luka Doncic and what that means, trying to compete. But on the same token, LeBron James has earned the right, as Udonis Haslam just said, he's earned the right to end his career on his terms when it comes to how many years, whether he has 1 year left, 2 years left, or 3 years left, and potentially how he wants his last year to play out in terms of comfort and just everything around him in a team environment.
So do you think that means that he could end his career in LA or elsewhere, UD?
He could definitely possibly end it elsewhere. If this is his last go around, I think he wants to be comfortable. He wants to enjoy it. He wants to put himself in a situation, most importantly, to win a championship. That was the big thing for him this summer, looking at what moves they were going to make, the pieces, the center situation, which is huge for unlocking him and Luka, who can get to the rim, catch those lobs, vertical spacing, open up everything. If he can put himself in that situation in another organization, I think he will explore that.
Where do you think would make sense?
I mean, he's talking to Steph. Who's going to turn down the chef? If Chef cooking up something, I'm showing up for dinner. For sure. That's for damn sure. If Chef cooking, I'm showing.
I think the interesting thing to follow is where this Lakers team is during the course of the season, in a really difficult Western Conference where a lot of the other teams have gotten significantly better here. When you look at Oklahoma City returns to their same group, Denver has gotten better.
Yes.
Minnesota brings back Naz Reid and Julius Randle. Dallas, of course, we're waiting on Kyrie Irving here. Where are they? If they're struggling, let's say we get into December, what direction do you go? And if you don't think you're a playoff team or a top 6 team, do you start to go? Do you look at moving him potentially with, of course, as far as where he wants to go? I think that's, if there's not a clear path for them to win a championship, I think that's going to be the most interesting thing to watch.
You just named 6 teams, so we know they ain't top 6. And we left the Clippers out, so they ain't top 7 either.